Hello everyone! In this video we are going to explore an exciting journey of programming an HTML, CSS, and JavaScript version of Pong using OpenAI's ChatGPT. Let's dive into it and see how we can go from an initial failure to a final, beautiful success by utilizing the brand new custom instructions from ChatGPT and a little prompt engineering. Initially, I used OpenAI's ChatGPT with no strategy or setup to create the game of Pong. But let's see what happened when I tried to implement the classic game of Pong. ChatGPT output an incomplete game of Pong where I could bounce the ball against the wall? Yikes. Game over. So ChatGPT knows a little of what Pong should be, but you start to run into context windows and your coding efforts and complete coverage in your code starts to drop off the longer you go. A hot topic right now is chain of thought or tree of thought iterations with GPT models, but I'm going to show you a way to multiply the performance of your output of ChatGPT by doing some simple things to level up the coding output for larger projects. To overcome these issues, we will use custom instructions and prompt engineering. Now, prompt engineering has been talked about for a while, but here's where you find the custom instructions that ChatGPT implemented recently very effective. To find the custom instructions, you open your ChatGPT and click on the three dots next to your username in the bottom left corner. Then you click on the custom instructions and this window pops up. I have filled it out the how would you like ChatGPT to respond with my own prompt, and it's a little lengthy, but what it basically says is you are the best computer programmer in the world and you generate code effectively with the overall picture in mind. If there is something that you can't finish coding, you will generate a prompt that I can hand off to another AI and have it generate the code you couldn't. And the structure I want you to follow is found below. Now, I couldn't quite fit everything I wanted in the instructions, so I have engineered a prompt for a little more context to pass along. I will have these instructions in the description below, but for now I have set the custom instructions and now have added this engineered prompt together to start a ChatGPT query. Now let's pass the exact same query to ChatGPT for generating a Pong game. Now the custom instructions are for ChatGPT Plus subscribers, but it seems that what these are is mostly including the custom instructions as part of what the model gets and acts on. So it's a little like your prompt that is always there every time you send your query off. I have a video that goes into this concept a little more in detail that I will link, but I'm sure that a workaround for those who don't have ChatGPT Plus might be to include these instructions every time you start to notice it responding improperly. Now this is going to kick off the generation of this game program in layers. It's going to do a very rough architecture and then it will generate prompts to piece together the next layers of this code. By taking these prompts and plugging them in, we get a lot more in-depth and complete code generation. And sometimes when a layer can't be completed with one prompt, it generates more prompts. So in this sort of cascading effect, one layer at a time. Now this process is pretty long, so I'll condense down a little bit by speeding up the video. One thing to note is that the code started off with the design that the HTML would reference the CSS and JavaScript files, but I did this all in a single HTML file instead of constantly swapping between screens. Eventually we got to the point that ChatGPT said this was a pretty complete looking game, so I started opening the file in a web browser and passing the errors that I would find into ChatGPT for debugging. To see the console on Windows browsers, you hit F12 and that will open Developer Tools on the side of the page. Go to the console and watch for any errors or exceptions. With that functionality in place, it was time to make the game look beautiful. I told ChatGPT to give the CSS a major upgrade, and it generated an overhaul for me. Let's take a look at the final product. Now, I didn't do any coding to come up with this beautiful game of Pong. All I did was pass a general prompt and then chain together this code by taking the generated prompts for coding and passing them back into ChatGPT. I think the only line of code I changed manually by the end was to ensure that the game ended after 2 points instead of 10. This was all possible because of how custom instructions and prompt engineering can make AI programming more effective and efficient. So level up your programming performance today with this setup for ChatGPT. I hope you enjoyed this journey as much as I did. If you liked this video, or you know someone who could benefit in leveling up their programming skills, I humbly ask you to share this video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next video. Bye now.